Hi, everyone. These projects and presentations are amazing. I'm really enjoying hearing about them. I'm Leah Biery. I'm the executive director of Tampa Baywatch. I am based in St. Pete, Florida. Our project was From Hatchery to Habitat, How Conservation Aquaculture Benefits the Bay. And it was an exhibit that we developed for the Tampa Baywatch Discovery Center. Tampa Baywatch is a nonprofit organization. We've been doing work to restore and advocate for Tampa Bay and the watershed for more than 30 years, and we focus on two components. There's restoration and education. Our restoration projects, while not directly aquaculture, involve a lot of oyster reef ball building and installation. So we do grow a lot of oysters across the bay in that manner. And then we have broad education programs, and one of the central components to that is the Discovery Center, which is pictured here. It is open to the public 7 days a week. We have exhibits inside as well as a classroom. And we welcome tens of thousands of visitors every year. And I'm sorry, my partners for this project are Andrew Richard, who is the Regional Aquaculture Coordinator for NOAA for the Southeast, and Nicole Rohde, who runs the Moat Aquaculture Research Facility in Sarasota, just a little bit south of St. Pete. Next slide. So Florida is known for its seafood, and we have locals and visitors coming here from all over the world and the state every year to enjoy it. But many of them are either misinformed or uninformed about its health and sustainability. And that ranges from what seafood actually comes from Florida to the idea that aquaculture products might be unhealthy or dirty or somehow environmentally unfriendly. We have so much coastline in Florida, and Florida's home to a thriving and rapidly growing aquaculture industry, which is well equipped to provide food security and economic opportunities and environmental benefits, and we think people need to know about it. Next slide. Our exhibit is a combination of text and interactive and digital components. And everything is conveyed through the lens of conservation aquaculture. So we wanted to tell the story really of how growing food using aquaculture can also support ecosystems. And we also chose to feature local growers as our industry partners and really put a human face on these stories, because we've all found that people really respond to seeing faces associated with information. And it helps them really understand how aquaculture can have an impact directly on real people who they might encounter every day. So on the right, you can see an example of some of the text that actually was pulled from the exhibit. That's Reed Smith. He owns Calusa Oyster Company in Lower Tampa Bay, which is very nearby. He is a Tampa Baywatch partner, and he grows oysters, works very closely with Tampa Baywatch to make sure that we are able to recycle some of the oysters that he grows into our projects, and we wanted to tell that story in the exhibit. The exhibit also has the interactive components. So one of those is a QR code that links to additional information and resources that help people find out where they can buy Florida aquaculture products and how they can support restaurants that serve them. There's also a game that it's a catch and release game. It's sort of like digital fishing, where people can scan a code and it generates a fish that they caught. It says if it was raised in a hatchery or wild caught, where it came from, all sorts of details about the fish. And the idea is to teach people that fish are also grown to restore wild populations. And this is demonstrating how they're tagged, and then you can report if you catch a fish that was grown as part of a restoration project, and let the people monitoring that know that you caught it, so that they can learn from that. We also developed an interactive iPad quiz that has some simple questions. People can take the quiz, find out what they learned from the exhibit. That will help us track our impact, and it collects email addresses. So we'll be able to follow up with everybody about events or more information that we might want to share later. Next slide. Impact. We had hoped to be farther along with our project at this point, but unfortunately, our region was hit by back-to-back hurricanes, Helene and Milton, last year, and they were fairly devastating. So all three of our partner organizations had to pivot and direct our attention to not only repairing our facilities, but also supporting our staff members whose homes were flooded, and our NOAA coordinator partner had to obviously support the aquaculture industry, which was also heavily impacted. So you can see some of the photos here. We're evacuating our animals from the pier and then icing the tanks when the power was out and cleaning up our buildings. But we're in much better shape now. The region has nowhere near recovered fully, but we were able to regroup a few months ago and really start to move the project forward. And I'm sorry, I had a problem with the file to put the exhibit rendering into this slideshow, but I'm sending a link if you'd like to see what the exhibit's actually going to look like. It should be installed in October, and we expect about 40,000 or more visitors annually to see it. That doesn't even include the students and teachers who come through our center. So many people will experience and interact with the exhibit. And we will have more data to share soon. Next slide. What's next? Again, an anticipated installation in October. We're very excited. When that happens, we'll have an exhibit launch party. We'll do all kinds of media outreach to get people into the Discovery Center. We also are developing secondary programming in the classroom about aquaculture, and we are training our guest services team to be able to talk to people about the exhibit. And we are incorporating aquaculture education into some of our community partnerships and outreach events, which is very exciting as well. And ideas for collaboration are always welcome.